Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're tackling something that is honestly one of the most terrifying yet absolutely fascinating experiences the human body can go through. We're talking about the science of sleep paralysis. Look, if you've been through it, you know exactly what kind of nightmare we're dealing with. But today, we're going to strip away all that fear, look right at the biology, and demystify exactly what's happening inside your brain when the lights go out. Okay, picture this. It's the dead of night. Your eyes flutter open. You are totally 100% aware of your bedroom. You see the shadows on the wall. You hear the wind outside. But when you tell your arm to move, literally nothing happens. You try to yell out and you can't make a single sound. It is just this visceral, primal fear. You're wide awake but completely, totally unable to move a single muscle. So let's dive right into this. Dr. Susie Fong over at UCLA Health really hit the nail on the head when she described this suffocating, almost supernatural sensation. You literally feel trapped inside your own body. And because your voluntary muscles are completely locked up, it's super common for people to panic. You might think you're having a massive medical emergency or even, encountering a ghost. But as you'll see in a second, this is actually a strictly biological event. In fact, researchers neatly sort all of our deepest midnight fears into three distinct clinical buckets. First up is the intruder. That's that awful, creeping dread that a malevolent shadow figure is just hovering in the room with you. Then there's the incubus, which feels like this crushing pressure sitting right on your chest, making it impossible to breathe. And finally, you've got vestibular motor hallucinations. That's when you feel like you're floating, flying, or having a full-on out-of-body experience. I know, it sounds like a horror movie, right? But I promise you, it's purely neurological. Let's pivot to the really reassuring science behind all this, which centers around something called REM atonia. So when you drop into rapid eye movement, or REM sleep, your brain is incredibly active, dreaming away. To keep you safe while all that's happening, your brainstem basically flips a switch that temporarily paralyzes your voluntary muscles. It is a biological necessity. Seriously, if you didn't have REM atonia and you were dreaming about running away from a bear, well, you'd literally jump out of bed and sprint face first into your bedroom wall. So sleep paralysis, it's basically just a biological computer glitch. Think of it like this. Your brain's waking consciousness software has suddenly booted up, but your body's muscle control hardware is still stuck on the loading screen. You are caught in this bizarre limbo state. The paralysis from REM sleep is overlapping right on top of your waking awareness, and it's projecting your active dream imagery directly into your physical bedroom. And here's why that glitch spirals into absolute panic. Since you're awake but can't move, your brain instantly knows something is off, and it slams the alarm on your amygdala. That's your brain's fear center. And boy, does it go into overdrive. It takes that lingering dream imagery and just coats it in pure terror. Historically speaking, this specific neurological misfire is the exact reason so many cultures have folklore about demons or night hags sitting on people's chests in the dark. Your brain is literally fabricating a monster to explain why you can't move. Now, if you've been through this, you might have woken up feeling like you're completely losing your mind. But let me assure you, you are absolutely not alone. Experts have found that up to 50% of people, half of us, will experience this frightening biological glitch at least once in our lives. It's an incredibly common, completely documented human quirk. Which naturally brings us to the big question. If this is just a glitch, what exactly triggers the mismatch in our sleep cycle? Why does that boundary between dreaming and waking up suddenly collapse for some of us? And more importantly, what can we do to stop it? Well, let's walk through the common triggers. See, your sleep architecture really thrives on consistency. When you throw a wrench in it with severe sleep deprivation, jet lag, or weird shift work hours, your REM cycles just get totally fragmented. High stress, bad anxiety, or PTSD are also massive triggers because they keep your nervous system wired on high alert. And get this, even simple things like drinking alcohol or having caffeine too close to bedtime, or just sleeping in the supine position, which just means flat on your back, those can dramatically increase your chances of waking up paralyzed. But we do need to clearly draw a line between two very different types of triggers here. On one side, you've got lifestyle factors. These are everyday habits like a bad sleep schedule or sleeping on your back that are actually pretty easy to fix. But on the flip side, we have underlying medical conditions, things like narcolepsy, which messes with your brain's ability to regulate sleep cycles, or obstructive sleep apnea, where you actually stop and start breathing in your sleep. Those conditions actively break up your REM sleep and can lead to chronic, recurring paralysis. Okay, let's take a deep breath. We know what it is, and we know exactly why it happens. Now, I want to shift gears to the really good stuff, the actionable solutions. If you find yourself waking up tonight, staring up at the ceiling, completely stuck, and you sense that creepy shadow in the corner of your room, here is exactly how you break free and fast. We are going to use a technique I like to call the rule of three. These are three incredibly useful, scientifically backed steps to snap out of an episode. They're highly structured and honestly, super easy to remember, even when your amygdala is screaming at you to panic. Step 1, move small muscles. Step 2, control your breathing. And step 3, shift your mental focus. So step 1. When you realize you're paralyzed, your immediate instinct is to fight it with your large muscles, right? You try to thrash your arms, kick your legs, or bolt upright. Do not do that. They are locked down tight. Instead, you want to send a tiny little reboot signal to your brain. Focus all of your willpower on wiggling just a single toe, or twitching one finger, or even just blinking your eyes really fast. See, your small muscles regain control way faster, and that tiny movement acts like a restart button for your whole motor system. Step 2 is all about the math of panic reduction. Remember that crushing incubus feeling sitting on your chest? Honestly, that's usually just your body's natural, shallow REM sleep breathing getting mixed up with sheer panic. So whatever you do, don't try to take a massive gasp of air. Instead, inhale slowly through your nose for 4 seconds, and then exhale for 6 seconds. Doing this instantly calms your nervous system down, shatters that illusion that you're suffocating, and sends a huge safety signal straight to your brain. And finally, step 3, shift your mental focus using pure logic. Your brain is generating some truly terrifying hallucinations, but don't try to fight the shadow figure. Just completely ignore it. Try repeating this grounding mantra in your head. This is sleep paralysis. I am safe. My brain is just finishing a dream. By leaning into logic, you quiet down that hyperactive fear center and just let the episode pass. Usually it takes anywhere from a few seconds to maybe a couple of minutes. All right, so that's your emergency in-the-moment survival guide. But let's pivot from just surviving the night to actually preventing this glitch from ever happening in the first place. Because if you're dealing with this, you definitely want to stop it right at the source. Let's run through this sleep hygiene checklist real quick because honestly, these habits work absolutely wonders. First, stabilize your circadian rhythm by going to bed and waking up at the exact same time every single day. Aim for a solid 7 to 9 hours of rest. And this is crucial. Sleep on your side. Side sleeping dramatically lowers the risk of your airway narrowing or you having those micro-awakenings compared to sleeping flat on your back. Do some light stretching or meditation before bed to drop your stress levels, and make sure you cut off the caffeine and alcohol long before your head actually hits the pillow. Now, while this whole phenomenon is usually completely benign and super easy to treat with just a few lifestyle tweaks, it is really important to know when sleep paralysis might be a warning sign of something deeper. There are definitely times when you need to bring in a pro. So pay close attention to these medical red flags. If your episodes are happening a lot, like multiple times a week, or if you're experiencing severe daytime sleepiness, almost like sleep attacks, if you ever feel sudden muscle weakness during the day when you experience strong emotions, which is a condition called cataplexy, or if you're dealing with loud snoring and gasping for air at night, these are overlapping symptoms for serious sleep disorders like narcolepsy or sleep apnea. If you're checking these boxes, it's definitely time to go ahead and book a professional sleep study. Sleep paralysis can definitely feel like a haunting, straight out of a ghost story, but as we've seen today, it's really just your biology getting its wires briefly crossed. So, I'll leave you with this final thought to wrap up our explainer. Are your current sleep habits putting you at risk for a nocturnal glitch tonight? Take a hard, honest look at your sleep hygiene. Apply the science we just went over and take back control of your nights. Sleep well, everyone.